welcome to Amethyst Star Crafting. My name is Jane Normark and I'm a UK independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. And today I thought we would look at this lovely stamp set, A Good Man. It's always, or I find it quite difficult sometimes, to do cards that are geared towards men in our life. I'm very lucky to have two beautiful sons, and this image would be absolutely perfect for all sorts of things. We've got this lovely dad who's holding his little girl. We've got another father figure who is holding a little boy on his shoulders, and I have a granddaughter and I have a grandson, so that's absolutely perfect. And then we've got this lovely image of just a chap lying in the sunshine on his deck chair, just enjoying things. Relax your way. Beautiful. You do a great job of being a great guy. Fantastic. I grew up loved. Being a good dad starts with being a good man. I absolutely love that. And that is just so perfect for some of these images. And as you know, I love line drawings. So I thought we would start with something fairly simple using this stamp set. We're going to use a couple of others. So from Free as a Bird, we're going to use the leaf image here. And from the Colourful Seasons, a great favourite because it covers absolutely every season, we are going to use the branch, because I thought the branch would be quite nice in there. So we'll get the branch out first. So let me just get that out of the case. Hold on. Here we go. It's a photopolymer one, so I just have to get this two complete sheets of these because it's all the seasons that you might want. And as I say, it's a perfect one. You have dies as well. However, I didn't want to cut this die out, so let's just get a block that this will go on, and we're just going to put the branch down like that. Okay, now I could do the branch in soft suede or a brown colour, but I'm actually going to do it all in black because my image is going to be in black. So just ink it up with a good black ink. And then we are going to put this just coming through on the top like that. So we have a nice branch image coming through. So let me just clean this one off. And then we are going to use, rather than having flowers and things, because as I say, this is a card for a man. So I didn't want to use the floral images because there's some lovely little floral images here. I didn't want to use the floral images, and I wanted it to really be sort of, you know, summertime sitting in the sun. So I have, oh dear. It's that time again of the day, isn't it, when the neighbours come home with his dog, so there's going to be a little bit of barking, but hey-ho, that's the way it goes. So now we're going to take the leaf image out of the Free as a Bird, and this is a red rubber. And again, we are going to ink it up in the black. As I say, you could do it in the green, but I want to keep everything sort of toned. Now, you need to try and get, says me, I'm probably going to get my head in on here because I want to try and get the leaf to come in onto the branch. And want another one to come in on here. Oops, just missed that one off. It's very difficult with my bright lights to do this. You'll be able to put your head straight over the top and to get that in a little bit better. But I think we can sort it out. So I'm going to try and get my head in. I'm at an angle, so it's never quite as good. And then I want to have just a few sort of coming up at the top here. So let's have one coming from the side there, because it's going to be quite a nice sort of branch in the summer. And I'm not going to do any down at the bottom because the image is, let me just test it. Always a good idea to test to see how far things are going to come down. So if we have this in here, although it's going to be the other way around, yeah, that's going to be perfect. I don't want any more in there. So that's that part. So let me just clean that one up. As I say, I've missed a little bit on the leaf, but that's purely because I've got my head at an angle, or I've got my camera at an angle, so I can't get in over the top. Otherwise, all you would see would be the back, well, the top of my head, which probably isn't the best thing to do. So let's put this one back in free as a bird. Then I know where they are, and just put that in. As I say, excuse my little dog, she's having a bit of a barky mood today. So now we're going to get A Good Man, and let's put him on a block as well. So line him up nice and straight, and I'm going to have him down at the bottom. So let's have him down on this corner here. Say, I love line drawings, I really do. It makes us all appear to be artists when most of us really aren't. Well, I certainly am not, but whenever I use the Stampin' Up stamps with these lovely line images, I can be the most beautiful artist because the image has been done for me. Now I think we'll have Relax Your Way and Maybe You're the Best. Certainly Relax Your Way, because that fits up perfectly with that. So let's just get this one straight on there, and let's ink that one up. So I do all my inking first, and this is again a simple 1-layer card, so it doesn't matter where you're posting it, it will be fine. And we'll have that just down at the bottom like that. So Relax Your Way. Okay, so now we need to start doing a bit of colouring on this. Now I'm going to use, I think I'm going to use blends on this because I think that will work quite nicely. So let me have a look at my blends. I might use some watercolouring as well, actually. In fact, we'll do a bit of both. We'll do a bit of a mixture. So the leaves we're going to do with our ink pads. So again, if you haven't got the blends, it really doesn't matter, because all you need to do is, here's the neighbour's dogs going out, is to just pick up some colour, and then you're just literally going to wash over the leaves. So just take that in, and this is a very quick and easy way to do it. So just pick up, as I say, some colour through and just take it through on the leaves. So just taking that through, and you can see the reason why I did it all in the black was because I didn't want the image. I'll show you one that I did earlier on, and I did that in soft suede and then the mossy meadow for the leaves, and then just washed it through with the aqua painter, and it looks nice, but I think I'm going to prefer it all in the one colour, because then you haven't got distractions of two different colours. And if you were drawing it, you would be drawing it with with a pen. Now this one I didn't finish it out, so I'm just going to pretend that it's come out on here, because unfortunately that didn't come out. That was me with my head. What I could do is I could put a little something over it to cover it up, but being a male card, I think I might leave it. If it was a girl card, I'd put lots of bling and things in, but maybe maybe a little sequin or something might work. We'll have a little look. We've got some pretty metallic sequins, and they might work just over that little space. So let's just finish this little one off on here, this little one off on here, this one on there, and this on here. But you can see it's really nice to colour in with the aqua painter, because it goes quite nicely. Okay, so that's our lovely sort of tree that he's lying underneath. And while I've got this on as well, I'm going to do just down at the bottom here, just a little bit of a wash line so it makes him grounded. I know the little line's there, but it's quite nice to fill it in. So sitting out in the garden, all you need now is the image from there, the colourful seasons, to give him a drink, which would be quite nice. So just take that in on there and run it through. So you've just got a little bit of green at the bottom. Okay, so I might actually colour all of him in the ink pads, just to show sort of a different way of doing it, because as I say, it is fairly easy. So let me have a look. Skin tones. Now, I tend to use, hopefully I'm not joggling my camera while I'm doing it, I tend to use something like Calypso Coral. Now, I take a tiny amount of it, because you don't want a lot. And you could do it with Flirty Flamingo. In fact, you could do it with any colour that you can really water it down. And what I tend to do is to use my scratch paper so I can get it so that it's almost not there. And then we can literally just take it through and give him just a little bit of skin tone on there, then down on his legs. Like that, in the sunshine. Making sure you go right up to the edges, otherwise you get white bits. Take a little bit more, and again, just wash it out on your scratch paper so that you're putting more water than colour on, as it were, but you don't want to saturate your brush, but just doing that just gives that sort of hint of colour, which is quite nice. You can shade and tone if you want to. I'm not going to on this one because I wanted to keep it fairly simple. I'm going to use, for his shirt, let's use mint macaron. So let's see what we've got on this one. So and again, I've got a little bit down at the bottom. If you press hard enough with our ink pads, you can actually get some colour at the bottom. If not, then just take a block and take it off onto the block. But because I only want a small amount, I'm just going to take it off on here. So his shirt's going to be in mint macaron. I could have done it in Pool Party, but I wanted it to be, again, quite sort of light and summery. I don't want anything that's too sort of bright. You know, this is sort of sitting in the garden, and it's going to be quite a nice, what I call a loose watercolour. I always call it loose when you're literally just, you're not spending a huge amount of time in colouring it in, you're just literally washing it through. Okay, that's good. Now his shorts. I think his shorts are going to be in, let's put that back, make sure I've closed the lid. Right, his shorts are going to be in soft suede. So let's have a look. And again, I've got a little bit in there. Clean your brush off in between. Because I'm only using a small amount of colour, I do it on my fingers because it really doesn't mark. And then just again, make it fairly sort of wet on there. And then you're just going to take just a little bit of colour in on his shorts. Like that. And then it just comes up over top of his leg like that on them. Okay, so and just down on there. Okay, so that's got a little bit of wash on there. Now we need to do his sun hat. Do I do that in the same colour? It's sort of going to be straw coloured, isn't it? So I might just take it in on this as well. So again, just a very pale amount on there. And again, you can do your shading if you want to. Just add a little bit of extra colour in there, but I just wanted to make it fairly sort of pale. Now, the deck chair. What colour shall we do the deck chair? Let's do it in a blue. Blue deck chair in the garden. Yeah, that sounds about right. I know deck chairs are, whoops, sorry, just rocked my camera taking that out. Now, this is a very dark colour, so we need to make sure when we're taking the colour from it, so I've cleaned my brush, is to make sure that it's quite, you can see how I'm getting quite a lot of water in it to make it pale. And again, just check it on your, yes, that's going to be perfect. Check it on your scratch paper first. Now this is this chair is a little bit difficult to work out where it comes, because it's it comes in on, yes, it does come right through on there, so just take it through on there and then on the top, and then down on here it comes down on this piece like that. And again, you can see that the aqua painter is very, very good, because it's got the tiniest little point, so you can actually get it exactly where you want it. So I'm just going to make sure that I've got it on here and that there is enough to just colour this in. And this is standard Whisper White cardstock. You don't need, as long as you don't put too much water in, you don't get pilling. And as you can see, I'm doing it very sort of gently and lightly. But there we are. We now have a rather nice, very simple chap who's lying in the sun and who's got Relax Your Way. So let's just sort of make it pop a little bit, shall we? So I'm going to take a piece of the mint macaron, and I'm going to put that down as the base, and then put it onto a white base like that, and that would work perfectly. Now, because I've got my little blobs, easy way to cover up blobs, let me make sure that I've got some of them in here, which I have. Okay, metallic sequins. So let's take it out of here and we'll sort out those little blobs, shall we? If you make little mistakes, it's very easy to rectify them by just putting something over the top. And crafting is, we don't always get it right. As you know, I've always said I'm a bit cack-handed, so we'll have one there on that little bit of branch that's just sort of one way and the other, and we'll have one that's going to come just sort of there, so at the end of that leaf that isn't quite right. So, and then I need to put one sort of further up, so I'm going to have one there just coming off on there. So let's try with 3 and see. Being a mail card, as I say, I don't want to put too much on there, because as my son would say, he's not he doesn't like too much bling. I know some people like lots of bling, and that's absolutely fine, but I think sometimes it's one of those less is more. So in metallic, I think I'm going to use copper, because I think copper will look quite nice. So let's just take one in on there, and the take your pick tool is very good, because you can do it with one end and then you can just sort of press it down. So we've got one there. This looks a bigger one. Let's take this one and put this one up on. Oops, got 2 there. Right, that's better. So we'll put one up on there like that, and then we'll take the 3rd one and we'll just put that in on there like that. So is 3 fine, or do I want 5? I think I might have 5 actually, just to sort of add it along on the branch, just to give it a little bit of something. So I'm going to do it where my connection is, because my connections aren't the greatest. So that's just 5, and then we'll get a couple more of the, whoops, these lovely, it's a bit staticky today. You know, sometimes you pick stuff up and it's still hanging on to another one. Let's put it down and then pick it up. That's better. So we'll have that one on there. If you haven't got the take your pick tool, I do highly recommend it, particularly if you're like me and you struggle sometimes picking up little tiny things, because it works really well. Right, that's another one, so we're going to have that one there, aren't we? So just put that there like that. Right, So that's just added a little bit of something on there. And again, it's quite good. You can take the end and just firm them down using, whoops, says me picking it up, using wet glue. It works quite well because it once it's dry, it's not going anywhere. So you know that your sequins are going to stay exactly where they are. So these are, as I say, the metallic sequin assortment, which is rather good. Okay, so I would then put it onto the mint macaron and then just put it onto the card base like that. So it makes a rather nice, pretty, simple card that doesn't take too much time to do. Let me just take the scratch paper out and I will show you the one that I did with, this is one that I did, and you can see there's very little difference between the two. This one I used the blends. So again, I used the mint macaron with the blends and light crumb cake. And then I just used, what was it? Old olive, I think, and old olive light and dark. And then I watercoloured in, but you can see I've done the leaves on this one in the old olive and the branch in the soft suede. And I think I would have needed to have done the actual image not in black because I didn't like the way I didn't think that it sort of it worked quite as well. I think this one works better because the tree actually comes down and he's sitting underneath the tree in the sunshine. So nice, simple, easy card to do. Hope you'll have a try. Thanks so much for watching me. Do look forward to seeing you again. Bye-bye.